it's me, Lauren. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. In this week's video, I've got a bit of a different one for you, and it is running through the process of creating a Christmas party or Christmas event outfit. So I wanted to make myself this year a sequin jumpsuit. It's a little bit extra, it's a little bit fancy, but I think it really suits the Christmas period. And so the idea that came to mind was making the Safiya Playsuit from Tilly and the Buttons, but switching out the shorts on the bottom half to the Safiya trousers to create a jumpsuit. I thought I'd take you guys along with me for the journey so that you could watch me make something new and see how I got on really, see what processes were going on in my mind and what I did to create the look. So let's go have a look. Good morning. So the outfit that I'm looking to make today is this. This is my inspiration. It won't be exactly the same. There's a few differences that I want to make, and obviously I don't have the exact pattern that one was based on. So I'm going to use the Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book to create the Safiya Playsuit. But I'm going to add the Safiya trouser option instead of the shorts, so it'll actually be a jumpsuit. Now, I did a toile of this last night and it didn't go very well. I used some fabric from the So Hayley Jane box, which is a gorgeous fabric, so I'm gutted that it hasn't worked so far. But basically, I wasn't very clever in the way that I cut it out. So I was short on fabric, essentially. To compensate for the fact that I didn't have enough fabric left, I thought, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll be clever. And I'll just make the trousers a little narrower than what they should be, because the Safiya trousers are quite oversized anyway. They're not a fitted trouser, so I'll be able to get away with that. However, I then accidentally sewed together the two front pieces of the trousers as one leg and then the two back pieces of the trousers as the other leg, sewing the trousers all together before I even realised what I'd done. I don't know how I did that because I even marked them as front and back, so I must have just been tired, and I just really wanted to get the 12 finished so that I could start on this version, and that's just not the way to do it. You should just always take your time. But yeah, so the bodice fits me lovely, which is the part that I hadn't made before, because obviously I've made the Safiya trousers quite a few times before because of making the Safiya dungarees, which I've got 3 successful pairs of. So I knew that the trousers are right. It was just the bodice. I just wanted to check how the arms were on it, because there's a grown-on sleeve, I think it's called. So I just wanted to check that I would think that they would be drapey enough and the right length and all of those sort of things, and that looks absolutely fine. So I am going to go ahead today and I'm going to make the Safiya Playsuit, Playsuit, jumpsuit version out of some sequin fabric that I have. So let me show you. I need to set my tripod up really so that I'm not all over the shop with this video. But this is the fabric that I've got. So it's this absolutely gorgeous sequin fabric. Is absolutely stunning. As you can see, the base fabric is just this, would it be like an organza or a tulle maybe? But so it's very, very see-through, so I will need to line it. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning fabric. It's got all of these gorgeous sequins sewn on, very glitzy, very party season. I am going to 2 very small Christmas meals this year. They're not necessarily Christmas parties, they are just Christmas meals, which is what I feel comfortable with this year. Obviously what with everything that's going on, that doesn't even need mentioning. So yeah, so this is the top fabric. It's just gorgeous. Look at that, it is so glittery. And then you may be able to see I've shoved in the window here, which is very messy, all of my other bits and pieces to go alongside it. So I've got some cotton and I've got my lining fabric. So this is the lining fabric. against the sequin. I think it was quite a good match, to be fair. They were both from a local independent, I believe, fabric shop to me, which I absolutely love. So yeah, so I'm going to cut the lining out and the sequin fabric. I think I'm then going to, I've never lined an outfit before, so I'm fully pushing myself out there with this one. I'm going to then attach the lining pieces to each individual sequin pattern piece, and then almost sew it all together as if they were one piece of fabric. That's just the way that it makes sense in my head. We've got a couple of things such as the facing for the wrap front, and yeah, I think that's about it. But those I'll cut out only in the lining fabric. I obviously wouldn't want sequins to be on facing because it's unnecessary and it would be really scratchy. But yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Let's go cut it out. Okay, that was a lot. So I've cut out all of my pieces of all my pattern pieces, so I've cut out everything in the lining fabric, then again in the sequin fabric. I've completely forgot, because it's just typical me, but when I was cutting the lining fabric out for the first leg pattern piece that I cut out, I forgot that my Tilly and the Buttons Safiya trousers are slightly cropped, which is how they naturally come for my height. I'm 5'4", and I forgot to add on the extra length that I usually do. So I've just cut an extra piece of fabric with a seam allowance for how long I want them to be, and I'm going to just sew that on. Like I said, it's only the lining fabric, so I really don't think anybody's going to see it, and it's right down the bottom of the trousers. So don't think it's going to be visible at all, but I just didn't have enough fabric to cut it all out again. I cut out one of the pattern pieces, I think it's the front one, again with the real length, but it's just the second one that I couldn't fit. So yeah, so that was that. It was quite a journey. I fit it into, I think it's 23 seconds or something, the time lapse, but it took 45 minutes. Just because the sequins are obviously hard going to cut through. I didn't use my good fabric scissors. I used the scissors that I usually use for paper on the sequins, because apparently it does blunt them. Obviously there's sequins everywhere all over the floor now, but that's fine. That was as expected. Nothing that a good hoover won't sort out. I did hoover briefly just the main area, just because you may see actually the dogs like running through, because I cut out in the hallway, and I just didn't want them traipsing sequins everywhere. But anyway, yeah, so the sequin part, the back bodice is a cut one on the fold jobby, but for this sequin fabric I was watching Lucy at So Essential. She had a video on how to sew with sequins, which was an absolutely fantastic video that I watched this morning. I definitely recommend it if you're going to make something with sequins. I'll pop it down in the description box below, because she just makes everything so easy to follow. But she suggested that for cut on the fold pieces, just cut them one way and then flip the pattern piece over to the other half and cut it out like that. She obviously described that way better than I just did when I completely butchered it. But yeah, so I did that for the sequin fabric. For the lining fabric I just cut it on the fold, because it's much thinner fabric. But yeah, I think I'm ready to go. I think I'm ready to start putting everything together. I'm considering overlocking the edges of the lining fabric, just because I don't need to overlock the edges of the sequin fabric. So I think I'm going to do the lining first before I sew it all together, just sew all around all of the edges. I do only have black or white overlocker thread, but I think because of the fabric of this and because it's going to be underneath, I think I'm going to use black, but that means threading my overlocker for the first time, which I'm quite scared about, but I need to do it. I need to just bite the bullet and get it done. That's, you know, is what I need to do. I can't put it off forever. So my overlocker came pre-threaded with white thread, but one of the threads snapped the other day for the white cotton thread, so regardless I'm going to need to rethread it. So I think I'm going to give that a go now, and then yeah, overlock all of my edges and then start constructing the garment. Hopefully it won't take too long, but we'll see. Okay, so here are all my pattern pieces now. So we've got the front two bodice pieces, the back bodice piece, I think that's the front leg and the back leg. Just laid out so I know where it all is. It looks really ruby coloured actually in this light, but we will see. I also have the lining pieces here, and this is where I cut that lining trouser piece too short, so I've just sewn that together. And yeah, I don't think you'll see it once the sequins are over it at all. I don't think it'll be noticeable. This is it the front or the back? Yeah, the front typically was the one that I did too short, but never mind, I think I fixed it. And yeah, as I said, I've gone round all of the lining pieces around the edges and just overlocked them. At this point, I don't know if that was the right or wrong thing to do, as I said before, I've never lined an outfit like this before, or at all really. I did that dress one, but that didn't go very well if you saw that one, because it was years ago now. But yeah, anyway, so I'm now going to just sew each individual pattern piece to its corresponding lining piece, so the sequin piece to the lining pieces, and then I can start constructing the actual garment. I'm just going to tidy up in here a little bit because it stressed me out that it's a little bit messy. I've still got my pattern pieces out down here, and then I just need to cut out the lining pieces, sorry, the facing pieces of the lining as well. I haven't done that yet. I've misplaced, oh, I'm really out of breath. I misplaced the facing lining piece that I did yesterday, the pattern piece that I cut out yesterday. So I just need to find that, and then I'll do those. But I think for now I might just get the garment pieces, sort of the sequin pieces to the lining pieces first, so that everything, so that there's less pieces, basically. It'd just be a little bit easier. So yeah, on to the next bit. And I'm back again. So last stage that I showed you was that I had laid all my pattern pieces out. I was going to sew some of the, well, all of the pattern pieces of the sequin to their lining pieces, which I've done. I've now just stitched the shoulders of the front bodice to the back bodice. And then I have added the facing, and I've just been pressing that a little bit. My iron is on the coolest setting that it'll go to, so a silk setting, and I'm just ironing it from this inside here, not from the outside, just in case, so I don't want to spoil it. But next up, I need to sew the side seams here so that the arms are all stitched up. I'm a little undecided at the moment about what I'm actually going to do with the arms in terms of finishing. Obviously we've got the basting stitch here, which I will take out afterwards, and we've then got the overlocked stitch as well. So whether I actually just leave it like that, because I don't think the sequin fabric will fray, so it could be that potentially I just tidy up the edges, take the overlocked stitches, like finish those off, and then leave it as it is. But yeah, so far so good. I'm happy with it. I just now need to do the trousers part, which obviously is the part that I got wrong yesterday, so I just need to focus on what I'm doing. Then I'm going out this afternoon, and I'll be back later on. Hopefully I'll have some time to pick this up later. If not, then I'll do it tomorrow morning again. But yeah, let's see where I get to today, and hopefully I do the trousers right. Hello everyone. So it's the next day now, it's Friday. I rushed off quickly yesterday to go out, and I've been out this morning, so I've got back a couple of hours ago and I've just been working on this outfit again. So far I have put the trousers together, which thank goodness I did correctly. I didn't film that because I wanted to make sure that I got the trousers right. And then I've just attached the trousers to the bodice. So let me flick you around quickly and I'll show you. Okay, so we have now got, excuse all of the cut out fabric behind me, we have got trousers attached to the bodice. I've got a waistline in here for some elastic which I need to attach. I've got my wrap front, the facing is sticking out a little bit at the moment, so I need to maybe understitch or top stitch that just to keep that down. But yeah, I feel I'm quite full in it at the moment, so I need to add that elastic to cinch that in, but I needed to attach the bodice to the trousers first, so that I can now trim my seams and subsequently add the waistband. I haven't finished the sleeves as of yet, but I need to do something with them. Another little feature that isn't on the original pattern from Tilly for the Safiya Playsuit or the Safiya trousers is that I've added a little slit in the sides. They are slightly different heights at the moment just because I did them by eye to start off with, and then I wanted to decide where I actually wanted them. But I do think I want them quite high in this, because obviously they don't open that much, so I'll need to do some figuring out of exactly where I want them. I'm thinking perhaps, maybe like here. Obviously with them being trousers, I think that's okay. And then, yeah, kind of regretting not putting pockets in it now, but I mess with this pattern enough by lining it and using sequins and all of those other things, so I didn't want to mess with it anymore by adding pockets. But I think the waistband, the elastic in the waistband is really going to help this outfit bring it together, and putting the slit from sort of here, and then I'll have to sort the edges out on that, and then finally I will hem it, but I don't know if you can see, it's quite long. That's me on tiptoes there, so that's quite long. I think I'm going to nip to either my mum's or my sister's to get them to just turn up the bottoms for me. It'd just be good to have somebody else to just hem the bottom for me, or just turn them up so I can hem them, because I don't think I'll be able to do it myself. So yeah, we're nearly there. We're certainly getting there, and yeah. I'm going to add the elastic for now, trim the seams inside. Obviously where the sequins have come through the seams on the inside, they are a little bit itchy, so I'm going to just trim the sequin fabric as much as I can. I'm going to do something with the sleeves, and I'm going to do something with the facing, and then I think that's going to be it for today. I think we're pretty much going to be there. There are sequins all over my house, so I've only had this fabric upstairs since I've bought it and got it out of the bag, and there are sequins downstairs literally in every room in the house. I'm finding them everywhere, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it eventually, so I'll catch up with you once I've done the waistband, the facing and the sleeves. Okay, so here we are at now. I feel much better now that this has been cinched in at the waist with the elastic. I have noticed that, I don't know if you can see that, but I haven't caught the sequin fabric in at the back, but I'm not too bothered about that at this point. I'm just going to hand stitch that in, I think. That's not a major deal for me. It's not a fabric that particularly frays or anything, so I can do that. The arms I have just folded over and sewn down. That does mean that I've got a little strip of sequins on the inside of the arms, and that's not particularly comfortable, but it's okay. And around the neckline as well, where I've just sewn the facing down, I'm finding that some of the glitter is a little bit scratchy, but again, I can deal with that. I now need to sort out these side splits here. I think they're going to actually come up to about here. And then I will finish the seams on those. Yeah, about here I think will be about right for this. And then yeah, I've just got to hem the bottom and I'm done, which I'm really pleased with. What do you think? Do you like it? I think I do, you know. I don't feel like it gapes or anything like that, which is quite nice. I don't feel like I'm on show or falling out or anything, even though it's a wrap top. So yes, what do you think? So there we are, we're all done. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for the process of making this outfit. As I can't stress enough, I'm not a sort of really experienced dressmaker or anything like that. A lot of the patterns that I'm making for the first time. So I understand that I probably made a lot of mistakes that made a lot of you experienced. So it's cringe, but that's all part of the learning process, isn't it? So here we have the finished garment. It is so glitzy, which is what I absolutely love about it. The things that I probably found the hardest with this was actually, number one thing was probably making a sequin garment comfortable to wear. As you will likely know if you've worn anything with sequins on, especially around the arm or the neckband, sequins can be very scratchy, and these ones are a little bit, they're not the worst that I've ever had from a sequin garment, even ones that I've brought in store. But yeah, they can just itch and scratch a little bit sometimes. So it's just making sure that all of the edges are trimmed, is on the inside, that is. So making sure all of your seams are trimmed is probably the biggest thing that will help. I am tempted on a couple of the seams on the inside, which are a little bit unfinished with the sequin garment, even though the lining is finished. I am tempted to just do something on those, maybe perhaps just trim them a little bit more, to just make them a little bit more comfortable. The benefit of this is that each time I wear it, I'm not going to have it on for particularly long periods of time, because it's just going to be for meals and events and those sort of things. It's certainly not an everyday outfit that I'm going to wear. The legs, I was really pleased with how they finished up. So I've got my slits down the side, and I'm really happy with those. They were much easier to do than I thought they were going to be. It's a bit of a wiggle, in fairness, to get this one on. So I made a Safiya, Tilly and the Button size 3 for the Safiya wrap playsuit at the top, and also the trousers at the bottom, and that's the usual size that I make for Tilly and the Buttons, particularly for the Safiya dungarees that I've made before, and that size has always been fine. I have heard someone say before, I can't think who it was, but they've said previously that the Safiya wrap playsuit, I'm sure it was this one, was a bit of a wiggle to get into, but it does fit. It fits lovely once it's on, I think. But yeah, you just have to wiggle your way in and out of it a little bit, which isn't the end of the world. As I said before, I'll only have it on a couple of times, for a couple of hours at a time, no doubt. I still haven't hemmed the bottom of the trousers. I will do that at some point in the next week or so. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Overall, it was a really good make. Obviously, Tilly's instructions were absolutely fabulous, as usual. The only things where I was sort of scratching my head a little bit were because I made changes to the outfit. So adding the slit into the trouser, I just YouTubed a couple of different videos to work out how to do a slit, which actually was very easy to do in the end. And also lining the garment as well. I'm sure that there's tons of you that would have done things like the burrito method and things like that, which I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever done it. So I didn't want to do that on a I didn't want to do that for the first time when the pattern wasn't for a burrito method. I thought it would just confuse me far too much. So the way that I did it made the most sense in my head, and I think personally it worked for this situation. It worked for what I was making. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this new type of video. I'm very aware that it's different for me, which always makes me a little bit nervous, putting something different out there. I know that the camera was shaky at times and I wasn't always completely in focus in those sort of things, but I'm sure that will come with time. I did also want to mention just briefly on the end of this video that today I have hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, which absolutely blows my mind. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who subscribes to my channel. I won't bang on about it too much because I know it can be a little bit boring. But I do truly really appreciate all of you. Every single one of you that hit the subscribe button, I do a little dance every time I get a notification to say that I've got a new subscriber. So thank you ever so much, it really means the world. I know that a couple of YouTubers have mentioned me more recently on their channels, such as Tamlin, who's sewn on the Tyne, and Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl. I still can't say that first time. They were really, really lovely and mentioned me in their YouTube videos because they watch my channel, which is lovely. And also, obviously, Hayley popped me into her magazine as well this month, so I'm sure that that's all helped. So thank you very much to each of you. But yeah, that's me for now. As I've said probably 100 times because I'm nervous about it, I hope you've enjoyed this video this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do give it a like and leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button because I really do appreciate it and I love having you here for my sewing journey. So thank you very much and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.